Over the past 2 years, we've seen a sharp decline in what we call formal employment. And in Papua New Guinea, there are just 600,000 people who have formal jobs. The bulk of them in government and various industries. Most of them are connected to large families who depend on them. It is difficult to put an exact figure on how many people have lost their jobs in the last 24 months. But there is enough empirical evidence to show that families are being affected by the impacts of COVID-19.
Mr. Speaker, there are two wars on COVID-19. Let's be clear about that. A health war and an economic war.
The Bank of Papua New Guinea figures confirm that employment rates in the private sector have dropped and there is slow growth.
We do know that tourism numbers are down, that revenue from international travel has dropped to unprecedented rates, and that generally COVID-19 has put a squeeze on business. But the exit of people from paid jobs has triggered what appears to be growth in the SME space.
The other scenario is that those with paid jobs are building SMEs, or at least starting out, because they want the security of a second income.
When you're looking at formal employment, there's only ever about 500,000 jobs.
Des Janinen, the president of the Micro SME Council, says the solution for job creation in Papua New Guinea lies in the SME sector, if people are adequately supported in growing businesses.
If our economy continues to grow at the pace that it's been growing, and if there really isn't much new job creation, SMEs are the only alternative for the majority of Papua New Guineans. There is no other way for them to have sustain a living.
Members of Parliament will remember the fourth out of the 6 measures that we announced last year was trying to release 500 million kina from the superannuation funds to assist our people who are out of work. Members of Parliament will recall that we had commenced some legislative changes. We were quite late, so that didn't really help them, but they nevertheless still accessed a lot of those funds because the 6-month period for which they were out of work made them eligible.
Job creation, despite the current difficulties, is crucial if the PNG economy is to survive in the long term. Amid the challenges of COVID-19, small businesses are weaving their way through what has always been a complicated business environment.
When you want to go and get a shop space, they ask you all these questions like, what is your 12-month plan? That's standard stuff, your IRC, your IPA, what you're going to do, how you're going to grow how you're going to grow the business, with the revenue streams, blah, blah, blah. And then your 12-month plan, like, okay, so every month, how much revenue are you expected to make?
At the Port Moresby City Markets, an initiative designed to gather small businesses and those starting out, trade appears to be growing. But for small entrepreneurs like Stephen Dawanikura, new restrictions, new fees means that they can only make enough to cover their costs.
And I'll be honest, I'm not a financially literate guy. I don't know how to do this and that to run an operation financially stable. I know how to talk about a product, I know how to promote the product, and how to deal with customers. But that aspect, I need support on. So while I'm here at the Palm City Markets, I know that service is now available. They have experts talking about it, so now I can reach out to them to point me in the right direction.
I think that the entrepreneurial culture in PNG has always been a culture. And I think that just because of social media and the new media, we're seeing more of it. So it's kind of like it's being documented better now. So that's helping the growth of it as well. But the new problems are the same as the old problems stuff. So from a personal point of view, I don't think there's been a big difference. I just think the community is much better now. The SME communities are much better now. They're supporting each other. Before we didn't have social media, so we couldn't really support each other. We're just like, I'm businessman and business Mary and what's the kind. Now we recognize everybody as entrepreneurs.
There are, according to recent figures, 50,000 SMEs of various sizes in Papua New Guinea. Many need help, but access to financing and the general ease of doing business are still a long way off. Scott Waide, National EMTV News.